Yes. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of the Full View, which is going to get fuller, it must be said. On the way, we've got Flex. Somewhere in the ether, in the universe, we've got Marcel. You never know where he's going to show up. It might not even be today. It might be later on. You never know. You never know with Marcel. He doesn't believe in time. We've got Bradley, we've got Tamo, we've got Firms as well. We've also got plenty to get into in the world of Manchester United. So big up to the panel. We're going to be talking about Andre Onana. And we're talking possibly about Tyler Dibling. Are we even going to be involved? £100 million. Southampton saying they want for him. Good grief. But first, eagle-eyed viewers in the chat right now might be going, Owen, you look a little bit different. Now, I'm not talking about the background. Forget that. Ignore that. I'm talking about this. You can see it right there. Hands off. I can't do a good American accent. Hands off the merchandise. Yeah, that's the merchandise right there. UV merchandise. It is official. It is out there. It is launched. As MA says there, the merch is here. And if you want to go and browse the merchandise, all you have to do is click the link in the video description. It's also now in the chat. People can see it in the chat right there. It's going to be the pinned message in the chat. You can get your T-shirts. You can get your hoodies. The hoodie's right over there. Once you start talking, I'll go get the hoodie as well. You can get your hats. You can get other designs are coming soon. Limited edition designs are coming soon. The merch is merching. We are indeed live. Yes. So if you're watching right now, you can go and browse it. If you're watching after the fact, you can go and click the link and you can go and find it as well. So you've asked for it. Go on, Josh. You're muted as well. He's muted as well. You know, Joshnology, yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'm just showing off the hat while I can.
Hat. There is the hat. Well, no, I'll get my hoodie.
Come on.
Oh, look. See, Owen's going to get the hoodie now.
Cold.
He has to go get the hoodie. And there's even more. And there's even more coming. There's even more. Yeah?
What's out there now? The hat, the hoodie.
There you go. Yeah. Or with this, not only have you got the UV badge, but you've also got it on the arm there as well. Look at that. On the arm there. It's everywhere. And there's special designs coming soon, isn't there, Josh? Yeah? That's what's going on.
Yep. Some exclusives coming. Right.
Exclusives.
Get ready.
Yes. Get ready indeed. So, yes, if you want to browse, you can use the link in the video description. It's also pinned in the chat too. Right. Let's talk about Manchester United. Let's talk about our favorite subject of mine, goalkeepers. Let's talk about Andre Onana, because Rob Dawson is reporting today from ESPN that Andre Onana, he intends to stay at Manchester United, even if he receives an offer from Saudi Arabia. He will only consider leaving if he's told he is surplus to requirements. Now, where is this Saudi stuff coming from? Well, there's been some links over the last few weeks suggesting that there is serious interest from the Saudi Pro League. Alex Crook from TalkSport saying the same today, that there is serious interest from the Saudi Pro League. Manchester United are willing to listen to offers for the keeper. Ruben Amorim reportedly is not against selling Onana. The goalkeeper has been unsettled at Old Trafford for some time. I'll start with you, Firms. What do you make of Onana? There's been all of this discussion, hasn't there, recently? I think we did it last week, talking about priorities. You know, what's more important than others? Positions more important than others. What do you make of Onana? And do you expect him to be United's goalkeeper next season, or are we going to look somewhere else, do you think?
You know what? This news kind of come left field. Like, I know fans were talking about it and there was rumblings and we're seeing all of these mistakes. But to be honest, I feel like the news came like left field. It came out of nowhere for me. I feel like, and the whole news about him feeling unsettled as well, that came at an even bigger shock to me. Like, I understand, like, you've been through the trials and tribulations at Man United before. You've come out the other end, speaking in front of the camera, being that one to take accountability. So for you to now feel unsettled, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where that's stemming from. But yeah, so that comes as a surprise. But for me, you know, Onana, you know, for me, he's a one that I've, you know, when we went through our list the last time, he was up there in my top 5 of players that, you know, we had to get rid of. He's one of those guys, man. I don't even think he's worth keeping on the bench, honestly. I feel like we need to try and cash in and get that money, because we're talking about a team like Manchester United where goals are not coming easy for us. So where you have a goalkeeper that's creating so much uncertainty in the defense, where you have a goalkeeper that's making these mistakes continuously and leaking goals, for us, it just makes the work twice as hard, 3 times as hard to it just piles on the pressure. Do you understand? So for us, we need to be able to have a goalkeeper that can command that box, that can ooze that confidence, and it radiates throughout the team from the goalkeeper all the way to the front of the striker. And for me, Onana's not doing that at the minute. And whether that will improve, I don't know, because the style of play, I don't think it's necessarily a coaching thing. I just think it's just the way he plays. You know, we've had some erratic goalkeepers in the past, like Barted, for example, and you just always know that there's got to be a mistake in them. It's just the style of the way he plays, and I think he's one of them. For me, I'm kind of happy to hear that news. If it is true, I don't quite buy it. I don't quite believe it. But if it is true, Saudi, they've got the cash, they've got the purse strings there to offer us decent money which we can use to reinvest into the squad. So yeah, man, I'm up for it.
Good evening, Flex. Good evening. We just broke the big news about the UV merch, Fleck. Yeah, the UV merch. Yeah,
it's
the merch.
there. Look at that. I always got the t-shirt there. What are we saying? Yeah. Hoodie settings. All right.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah.
Quality settings. Yeah.
Is that for the next award show? Is that for the next?
Oh yeah. Hey, this is just for the next day. This is just for the next day. That's what that is. Yeah. That is what it is. Yeah. Big up. Yeah, so I'm a little bit late, but yeah, I think I've missed that announcement there. But UV merch is there, man. You know what I'm saying? So what are we? Store is live now, yeah? It's there.
The store is it's in the chat. Links in the chat. Yeah. It is live. Yeah. You can browse the store. And it's also actually must be said, the website is more than just a store. On there, you can see our latest videos, you can see designs, you can see our socials on there too. It's a bit of everything. And all you got to do is click the link in the video description below. And you can wear stuff like this. I never thought I'd be a model, Flex.
In it, proper model settings, chiseled arms and that, chest puffing out. Look at that. Yeah. There you go. Owen is the perfect model for that, man. So yeah. I don't know if I was jumping in on anyone there, like Firms. I was just listening to what you're saying there about the Onana thing. Has everyone else? What's everyone saying?
Yeah. No. Tamo, what do you think about Onana? Would you, if an offer came in the summer, would you let him go?
Absolutely. I mean, am I audible to everyone? By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sound good.
Yeah. I mean, Onana has not turned out what we wanted him to be. And it was more so Eric Ten Hag signing in terms of playing out from the back. Not going to say it's necessarily his fault why that hasn't worked out. But what my brother previously said, he has had some big gaps and we need some stability. There are some days that, let's be honest, that he has bailed us out this season. He has been fantastic. As a matter of fact, in the early part of the season, he started out pretty solid this season, arguably one of our better players. But again, it's just that uncertainty of sometimes, what will be the next erratic moment. I mean, even if I look on him playing out from the back, I don't know if it's confidence or what. But even his balls upfield, and this is with no data, it just doesn't seem to connect. It just seems, So if we can do better or get somebody a little more settled for him, absolutely. I wouldn't be against it at all. That's my 2 cents on it.
I hear you on that. Brad, what are you saying? Have you had a you're saying Onana, what are you saying? Do you think there's a top class keeper in there?
Absolutely not. He's terrible. He's the worst goalkeeper I think I've ever seen in my life. He couldn't catch a virus if he was in a zombie apocalypse. He can't catch. He can't save. He can't claim crosses. He can't kick. He's just rubbish. I'll drive him to Manchester Airport myself if I can.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean. No.
How do you really feel? I mean, don't sugarcoat. How do you really feel about Andre Onana? Yeah.
That's what Bradley's on, just short, sharp, to the point. He's rubbish, mate. I'll drive him there myself. What are you saying, Marcel? Bradley strong there, saying, listen, this guy's awful. Worst we've seen. I don't know. What are you saying?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And if everyone's saying that, Onana should be one of the people to leave the club long term, then I agree. I mean, the financial situation of our club means there's got to be a degree of priority to be exercised. But, in terms of the direction of travel, in terms of the style of goalkeeper that we thought Onana was and what he was going to bring to the club, I think it was a good decision. A goalkeeper that can play for the back. We thought we was getting a sweeper type goalkeeper. But like we had said, and I think you had mentioned it quite early, Flex, in terms of his goalkeeping fundamentals, the style of saves that he makes, the way that he covers the goal, the way that he parries the football into certain areas of the pitch, it's not good enough. His technical saving fundamentals, something that, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but David De Gea had it in abundance to a degree. I mean, towards the back end of the career, looked really poor and shaky himself. So I think his time had to come. I think making that decision was the correct decision, especially at the price point as well, that we was paying him for these wages, astronomical wages, and just wasn't really performing. So his time had to come immediately. But we bought incorrectly. We scouted incorrectly, and I think that's the old regime as well that purchases this goalkeeper as well. So just another indictment to the poor quality of eyes that we had at the time and the vision. I think we still. I've been saying this for the longest, and I'll say it again. This was our Bravo type signing. Every single football club that has done anything brilliant in that goalkeeping position has purchased first originally a goalkeeper that they think, okay, yep, it's an upgrade, it's the right direction of travel, but it ends up being mess. It just ends up being mess. You look at Liverpool, I think they had you're going to mention it for me, Fleck. What was the goalkeeper that had the Champions League? Bale embarrasses
Karius.
The Karius. Yeah. Then, Arsenal Football Club had a couple of these mess. The first one's mess. City, Bravo, mess. The first one, it's just a natural path of the vision. It's a natural path of the process. The next goalkeeper, especially when you want somebody that can play this style of football, cover certain areas of your pitch, the first one, is just normally mess. And then you look at that benchmark and you say to yourself, well, we definitely don't want that then. And then you go and get yourself a better one in world football. It's happened and I've said it I say it to everyone all the time. I've said this so much.
There's no excuse though, is it, Marcel? There's no excuse for the people that did get it wrong to be like, wow, the first one's always the worst, is it? And also those ones you mentioned, your Bravos, your Kariuses, they didn't cost over 40 million quid, close to 50 million pounds, did they? I mean, Karius, I don't even know how much it cost Liverpool, probably not that much. Bravo was I don't know, 15, 60 million quid, something like that from Barcelona at the time. So I guess the bigger problem is that, yeah, you're right, that happens, but like anything with Manchester United, it's a costly mistake. And once again, we're looking towards people like Saudi going, can you bail us out of these errors that we've made in the past?
I mean, it's not an excuse for the board and the structure. I mean, the fans that, or like myself, that believe that we were going in the right direction, I think we're proven right. I honestly do. And I think we will still be proven right once you get the right goalie that has the goalkeeping fundamentals, like the people originally were saying, like Fleck, because, we got to a stage when we were saying, no, this is what a goalkeeper does. He must save a football properly, please. But also in the same breath. Yeah. Because I remember you get into that stage, Fleck, but in the same breath, we need a goalkeeper that can change the visionment of the next 1,000 people that support Man United, that believe in a style of goalkeeper. We need a generational change of goalkeeper.
The visionment, Marcel.
Yeah, I'm making up words, but they're my words. And you know what I'm saying, Owen? You know what I'm saying, Owen?
My words.
Owen, you know what I'm saying. Do not pretend that you don't understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm running with it. So anyway, at the end of the day, we need a new goalkeeper that pushes the whole vision of what it means to be a Manchester United goalkeeper. Staying with David De Gea would have been a sickness. You couldn't distribute. So we tried to go with one that distributed, and we expected him, being in the Champions League final, to have a basic degree of fundamentals. He doesn't. And we've seen it, like you admitted, Owen. Many a time, top-level football clubs that ended up changing the culture of their football club with having part of their spine a goalkeeper that can do both sides of the game. So we need that now. It's clear as day. Yes, we appreciated a goalkeeper that had the fundamentals, and that's wonderful and pretty. But we need someone that also can distribute in a certain way and style. And I think now that we've seen that Onana can't handle the envisionmenting, we now need to go into the process and get one that can.
Marcel, you know what? Yeah, I rate it. 2025. Listen, I could use my own style, my own words, my own. We see it in music. Music artists do it all the time. Like everyone knows I'm a big Vibes Cartel fan. Listen, you have to have a new style. You know what I mean, Tamo? You have to have new style, new words, new slang. Why can't he do that? It's true. We're quick to say like he can do that. Like the envisionment, all the things. I think you said another mad word on the last one. I can't remember.
Well,
what that was.
there's always there's loads. Upregulate.
Upregulate. That's it.
Yeah.
Upregulate.
We need to get a stage name for Marcel, so all of these new words go over easier.
No, just do a Marcel dictionary. We'll do the Marcel dictionary. Just have some words.
Bad artist, Marcel. Big artist.
For real. That bit, you know what, Marcel? I was listening to what you're saying there. I think you make a good point. Owen, I hear what you're saying about doesn't mean it should cost be 50 million. But the track record of like people trying to find the right keeper, if you look at recent times, there's a lot that goes wrong in that position. Actually, it's really hard to find a top draw keeper. You look at Chelsea's struggles. They've gone from Kepa, big piece, 70 odd million, not the guy. What's his name? Mendy, not the guy. Gone through to Sanchez now, not the guy. So they're having a massive nightmare. Arsenal obviously went with Ramsdale in that Who was the one before Ramsdale? Was that
the German goalkeeper?
Leno. They've gone from Leno, Ramsdale, and now found Raya. So there's quite a lot of change there. Liverpool, to be fair, once they got Alisson, that was it. They got it spot on. Yeah. But they did before that, the Millionaire. It wasn't. It's the end of a cycle. To be fair, the Millionaire wasn't like a quick thing. They got it. He was
because that was after Pepe Reina, wasn't it? Pepe Reina had been there for ages.
So they've actually had a succession. Millionaire wasn't the level, but they had him as number one for a continuous period. Then found Alisson, and he's the one. To be fair, but there's some change there. Spurs had Lloris for ages. And he's dipped quickly. Like when he was like peak, when he won the World Cup, he was all right, but he always had a mistake in him. But then since then, they've had problems until Vicario. I've had like Fraser Forster and some others that I can't remember the name.
And even with Vicario, they sort of go like
I want to say Gomez, but what was that before?
Sometimes they go.
Yeah, Hilario Gomez. No, that was
before. That was before.
Yeah. But it is a thing. Bogdan was at Liverpool, but not playing proper. But I hear you. Like, so it is a thing. Like it is like Man City, it is a thing. So I do see that bit. Like but obviously it's an expensive mistake. But that's a good. I do rate that point that it is hard to get the one. But for me on Onana, like I just think a lot of the base level stuff he does is enough to worry me. That's the problem for me. Like the big clangers, 100%. You go, oh my god, like this is crazy. Like how that's gone in, I will never know. You get those. But you also get, like I said, even when I see him keep the ball out, I still see things within the save where I go, that don't really look right. That like even parrying it back into, like the mechanics of it. Like even when I see him like full stretch, he might tip the ball over the bar, and I go, good save, kept it out. And I will see the real. I'm like, but the way he did it didn't look quite right. And I don't know. And like sometimes the decisions of. We've seen it when to run out, the eccentric nature. Obviously, you see like things where he's what was it? We just done on an international break, running up to the free kick. Just
he was doing a free kick.
Like,
I couldn't believe that when I saw it.
Like it's just he has the main character syndrome. I know people say, it's in goalkeepers union. You got to have a few screws up there, not quite tightened to be a goalkeeper in general. But I don't know, man. He's got good character, good charisma. Great confidence in his ability, but it's just, outfield play with gloves. It just feels like he just wants to play. That's it. Remember I said he's just like a man down power league when it's like two, when you just play 2 and out, like everyone takes it in turns. You can see 2 goals. You can't wait to run out of there quick enough to get back on the pitch. Like he's just like that. And let's be real. If the money comes in for me, and I did see a report today that was saying, which is what I do believe in, which is why he's so calm about everything. If he's told he's surplus to requirements, he'd just be like, big man, no problem. No problem. I'll go with my agent. I'll go find a new club. I just feel he'll be like that. He wouldn't be devastated. He wouldn't be like, I ain't effing leaving. Rare. I just think like if Ruben said, yeah, we're going to go in a different direction, he could, no problem, my brother. I believe in my ability, and he could go a lot of places, to be fair. But the Saudi one's interesting. I think we definitely need a new goalie though. Like, and I couldn't believe how much it keeps going up. Priority.
What fee would you want, or how much do you think we can get for him anyway?
Onana, eccentric, mistakes. Boy,
he's older.
played it.
He's older.
Older
as well.
now.
He's
Pushing 30.
Goalkeepers don't go for a lot of money. He's sort of how old is he? 29?
What is he? 29.
Yeah.
I think I would take anything for him just to get him out of the space.
Just take anything.
Yeah.
He's 29 in April. 29 next month.
29 next month. For a goalkeeper, though, it's not old, though. It's not old.
No. But I mean, goalkeepers don't usually go for that much anyway. You know what I mean?
No, we got him for like 48 add-ons, innit? Or 46 add-ons or something like that, innit?
Yeah.
Could we get 25 million for Onana?
I would hope so. But I would take as low as 10 if you get him out of the space of the club.
Just anything, just to refresh and go. Because we're taking L's, innit? That's true. We're taking L's. It's more about the reset. Do you know what I mean? It's more about how do we reset, because that's the biggest problem. We know we're at a loss. Do you know what I mean?
But it's like also Marcel's point, and this is like it with a lot of things. We've noticed this with United, that it's not necessarily the fact of moving him on. It's, do we now trust the people in charge to make the right decision to bring the correct person in? Because as we've seen in the past, it's not like it's when you get into the David De Gea argument, isn't it? People are, see, we were wrong of getting rid of David De Gea. And you go, well, not necessarily. Why might not necessarily been the wrong decision to get rid of David De Gea? But what's really exacerbated that is that we got the wrong person in. Our replacement was wrong. Not necessarily the decision to let De Gea go was wrong. So if we let Onana go, are we confident that we would find the right guy?
Can we stick with Bradley's formula of sticking to the Premier League? What is wrong with Pickford? What is wrong with Ramsdale? I've still no one's really come to me with that with the consensus that is a massive issue. No.
Ramsdale,
Pickford,
not Ramsdale.
Pickford's a brilliant goalkeeper, and he can do both sides of the game, guys.
I think Ramsdale would be another David De Gea where it's right to get rid of the one we got, but don't replace him with Ramsdale.
Okay.
Nah.
Yeah, but
I actually think Ramsdale technically is better than him, but not enough.
Yeah, but isn't Ramsdale the same thing? I think Ramsdale is a good shot stopper, right? As in reflexes. But remember, he had quite a few clangers, and he doesn't play. And I'm not putting this because it shouldn't be his first priority, but he's also horrible with his feet. But he has had his fair share of clangers too. So I would say no to both him and Pickford. I mean,
what the Brighton goalkeeper, Van Bruggen?
For Bruggen, yeah, he's all right. He's all right. He's had a couple of clangers, but I don't think there's many keepers where you go they ain't made a clang. Like,
I think Onana's the worst goalkeeper in the league, though. I think we have to say that. I think we have to say that. We really have to hone in on the fundamentals. Like we've mentioned very early, we were saying it very early. I remember you saying it, Fleck. He's gonna make 10 mistakes a season. We have to accept this. Like standard procedure, we have to accept that that's a reality. Like we shouldn't be like Ramsdale. It will come out in a blue. Pickford. It will come out in a blue, and then a lot of their saves will be looking fundamentally correct. But it's like we almost have in our head this fear that he's, as a standard procedure, there's going to be 10 or so every season.
Look at that. You said he's the worst in the league. Is he the worst?
Is he the worst in the league, or because we're just and I'm asking, I genuinely don't know. I'm asking, is he really the worst in the league though? I don't think he is.
I think so.
I think he's
worse in the league, Brad.
Yeah, I honestly, I think he's that bad. I think you could get a manager sacked.
It's interesting. A keeper being the worst of the league, like you mentioned, but then buying there still can't get a shot. It makes you think, what is that guy doing? What's the rationale behind that? Why can't he get?
I don't know if he's the worst keeper in the league.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I mean, last year, wasn't he like how much? And I'm just talking about his clean sheets and stuff of that nature, because he has. If we're saying that. I remember last year we're talking about we had just the worst defense.
Yeah, I think Sanchez is poor.
Yeah, so we were saying a lot. We had the worst defense and all these kind of things. I mean, and he's credited with keeping clean sheets and stuff. We have to give him credit for something. And like you guys, I agree with you. He has too much howlers, and I think we need stability. Definitely, we need a change. But the worst, that's the part I think I don't think he's the worst in the league.
Yeah, that's harsh. But the point remains, we don't have to argue about the semantics. The point remains, we all agree on this panel that we need, you know what I mean? We need a new keeper in it. We need a new keeper. Guys, smash a like on the video. Where are we at with the likes and them things there? Got 170 likes. Let's hit the like button, man. Let's get into this. Drop a like. Let's get 200 out the way. So like Joe Blackman's saying there, man, drop a like on the video. I want to talk about this Tyler Dibling thing. Southampton are saying they want 100 million from that kid. 100 million. They are lying out their backside. They don't want no 100 million. I just think they're just trying to say that to show that it's going to be a hard. You can't just come and take him because we're getting relegated. That's all that is. I mean, Tyler Dibling. First of all, like, are people having him as well? Just like, forget the price thing. I think that's bullshit. But who's feeling Tyler Dibling?
Yeah, I'll take him.
Yeah. What you gonna say, Tomo? Oh.
No, somebody else was giving a view. I'll let them go. And
Firms. Yeah, you said you're taking him.
Yeah, man. I think. Do you know what? I feel like obviously he's young. What is he, like 19, whatever? Like he's a guy that you can still. He's still in that moldable, coachable phase. He's a guy that can obviously carry the ball. He's good with the feet, with the dribbling. Can he play on the left hand side as well as the right hand side? For me, he's someone that I feel fits the mold of the type of signings that we want to try and make. In terms of Tyler Dibling being that main guy is where the worry is for me. And the more I see us being linked with certain players of his profile, the more I am questioning this whole goal that we want to set in terms of 2028 win the league, and more about, is it us going for certain profiles of players that has a lot of potential that can potentially turn to be something great, whilst we're focusing on assigning a lot of the money towards the stadium rebuild, because there's still queries regarding how we're going to be funding this, and we can't be focusing on that and forking out all those billions, whatever it is, while we're still spending hefty amounts on sort of ready-made stars. So a part of me is thinking like there might be a sort of an agenda there in terms of how we're signing players. But for me, Tyler Dibling, look, he's a good player. Look, Manchester United of old will look at a guy like that and be like, yes, that looks like a talent. Bring him in now. Best of British, homegrown. Like, we still want that. Don't get it twisted. We still want that. My only issues with this is, are you bringing him in to hold the weight of the shirt? Is he going to be the guy that you're looking at, depending on, that needs to be dragging us through the mud? That we don't need, because that is only going to bring a lot. You've already seen the patterns with what that does to players like that, especially if he comes with a huge price tag. Like, for someone like him, he shouldn't be no more than 40 million in my mind. No more than that. If you pay him more than that,
and even that's like, even the 40, like, he scored 2 Premier League goals this year, right? Now, and listen, he's in the worst. He's in probably the worst team there's ever been in the league. This is worse than Derby that they're probably going to do. Like, they're a terrible, terrible team. Even though they pushed us close twice, but they are a terrible team, yeah. But he shouldn't. Like, this is the thing in this country. Like, the players get hyped up and he's this, he's that. I'm not saying he hasn't got ability. Of course he does. The kid's got a bit. You saw how he's cooking up Dallo. You know what I mean? Won the penalty. The kid's got a bit. 100%. I've seen him quite a few times. He's good. But these big prices, man. Southampton are having a laugh. They are having a laugh. Like, especially in the position they're in, where they're going down like that, in the manner that they're going down. Listen, you better take what people are going to give. I get, obviously, you know what I mean, homegrown talent, and people are going to be after him. And Russell Martin was doing the whole flipping 25 million wouldn't even get you his left foot and all that rubbish. Like, he's a decent player. He's a decent player. He looks positive, but we need to be careful. But I do think we have changed our strategy, though. I think when Wilcox comes you know, obviously he was at Southampton. He knows Dibling well through coming through the academy, so there's a link there. I think we could probably trust that the strategy's changed. They know not to do stupid stuff like pay massive money for young. Like, surely that's got to be gone, or bring him in and say he's the main guy. You know what I mean? Do it all. Surely not for me.
Yeah, I when I saw this today, like everyone else, went, they're not getting 100 million. There's not a chance. But there is going to be a bidding war for him in the summer, and I think if there is, that's where I go. Okay, I guess we're not going to be involved in that then, because we just, as we've seen last summer with the, as you mentioned, the new strategy, the max I think we want to pay for a player now is like, what, 50 million max? Like we would prefer to do sort of 30, 40. He does fit the profile in terms of a young player. I do have a little bit of a concern with this idea of going into a summer window where we're only going to buy young players, because actually, if you look at our team we've been putting out recently, it's a really young team, like really. and we know what we do when we sort of start over relying on these sort of younger players, that suddenly if they get inconsistent, which they're going to because they're young players, we then start hounding them out because they're inconsistent young players, as opposed to actually questioning the senior players that should be more consistent and delivering. And in fact, actually, some of the senior players that are consistent and deliver, i.e. Bruno Fernandes, we still want to get him out of the club, apparently. It's madness. So I like the look of him. I just can't see United being involved with that in the summer. That seems to me like a sort of City, Arsenal, maybe like even a Chelsea that spends like 70 odd million and maybe does get him. I don't think that would be one where maybe we would have done that a few years ago, but I just think that would be bad business at this point. Not because he's not good, but you can spread that money around more effectively, and we're going to need to, aren't we?
Lou, you're saying he isn't worth the hype. Say that again.
The Wilcox factor. How about that? Do you feel like that?
We need to. Yeah, what are you saying, Bradley? The fact that we got Jason Wilcox in, is that this is where he needs to earn his bag, innit? This is his forte. These types of signings.
I think we could easily get him to Man United in terms of he would agree personal terms for Man United, because I think also because he was young there, that he would know his family and everything like that as well. So that goes a long way. But I wouldn't pay any more than 30 million for him. Like, if they want any more than 30 million, I'd go, I wouldn't buy him, because in the summer, Everton wanted, 70 million for Branthwaite, and we went, no, we're not buying him. And then we went and got Aidan Heaven for £1 million, and it was like a bargain. So I wouldn't go any more than 30 million. But I would definitely.
That's the key there. I agree. Like, the fact that, that's what I'm saying. They've shown that, like, getting Chido as well. Like, they've shown that they're happy to go and get these academy players that are on the cusp. It's a bit different for Tyler Dibling because he's played so much in the Premier League for a season. So that gives him, his stock goes up immediately. Even though he's in the bottom team, people can see that he can do a bit in a shit team as well. So it's like, okay, this kid's good. But you're right. I think we've shown that we're like, nah, we're not on that.
And you got to be careful. And you got to be careful. Like, look at last season. I know they're doing a bit better now, but like someone like Adam Waterman at Palace, they were talking about him like 100 million quid, and then they had a shaky start to the season. And it was like, actually, I don't know.
And then he got injured.
You have to be careful, don't you, of that kind of thing, of not.
Well, look at Kobe. Kobe's a prime example. Kobe, our own player, is a prime example. How Kobe is discussed now, because he's had injuries this season and the formation, like, is he a 10? Is he a 6? Is he what? Because of that, how he's been spoken about now is not how he's been speaking about last March.
Yeah.
Heading towards a Euro.
Evan Ferguson as well.
Evan Ferguson, another one. Two big injuries. Pre those two big injuries, 100 million. This kid's going to be it. This Irish kid's going to... Who? Garnacho. How we're speaking about Garnacho now is not how we spoke about him a year ago, which when Tomo was talking about Højlund and even Xerxes a couple of shows ago, it's so true. It's so true about, like, the narratives of players and how, like, our mood kind of changes with the wind, really. As fans, it takes a while for a player to be a cemented good or a cemented bad or indifferent. Like, because even with our own players, like Kobe's just gone, bam, shot to stardom. He's the problem. He was the answer to England's midfield problems. Do you know how crazy that is? Went all the way to the final. They tried Conor Gallagher. They tried Trent. And they went, it's not working. Kobe goes in there, they're like, right, it's him. Man starts all the games and plays in the Euro final in his breakout season. The second season happens where he still hasn't had a full season. Kobe Mainoo still hasn't had one full season of playing like 40, 50 games. He's had a large portion of this season injured as well. Portion of last season when he broke through, injured. So really, he's got like back-to-back seasons of like stagnating because of injury and this, that, and the other, and hasn't managed to put a full run together. And now it's like, man, yeah, I might look to sell him and this, that, and the other. So Dibling, we have to be careful, man. I agree, man. I don't think, obviously, a jump at the chance to come. He's going down into the Championship. Like, if Man United come, he'd definitely come, or others. But I don't know. We have to be careful.
I agree with Brad on this one. We shouldn't pay more than 30 million for him, and maybe Man United needs to change their strategy of looking at players in the spotlight. And I don't want him to be like that. You know, you go to a party and they're all these girls, and they're not the most attractive, but there's just one that stands out because the others are not that attractive. I don't see anything. I'm sorry. I've seen some good moments from Dibling. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like what we did with Onana. We were all fascinated by how we played the final, but before the final of that Champions League match, not much of us saw him. And hopefully the backroom staff does their research. But Dibling is just another English talent being hyped in a way that we shouldn't. There's not enough for us to be even talking about 100 million. They only put that there because they heard Manchester United want him. That happens everywhere around the world. So I agree with Bradley on this 100%. Even the 30 million is a stretch. But let's be clear. This guy's done nothing to show us except moments. And let us be clear, moments. We shouldn't even be discussing him like that. So that's my 2 cents. No, nowhere near that. We shouldn't be hunting to get him or anything like that. Again, just take that method of all of you remember at that party where you saw this girl and she looks so attractive. It's not that she was that attractive. It's the others around her. He's in the worst team, guys.
But isn't it strange though, Tamo? Is it now? Because now a lot of the prices is being based off future talent, like rather than okay, you're great, you've done this. Like I know people can say, oh, he's only played X number of minutes or number of games, but players are moving away from that gradually now. It's more about potential. Rasmus Højlund was all potential.
True.
Was potential. Like a lot of the players that we buy, Dorgu, potential. Like everyone is just potential now. So for me, even that price tag with the Everton defender again, potential. Like he's not really a guy that's done nothing to warrant. What is it? 80 million. So we got to take that.
And I don't disagree. And I don't disagree with buying potential and pay sometimes even a little more. But all of us here could list about 10 players that over the last 10 years, people have paid over the top for them and it didn't work out, right? And here we are having some players that we didn't pay that exorbitant amount for, and it's turning out to be better. I'm not saying the guy is not a talent. I'm saying, and unless you guys can tell me something, I have seen nothing that Dibling has done to suggest he's that $100 million talent. That's what we're talking about here.
No way.
That's why I said what Bradley said.
I think that's fake news. That is.
I said what Bradley said is that, and I still think 30 is a little high, but there's no way we should do that because I haven't seen anything to suggest that we're going to get that return yet. Maybe. But we don't know yet, and I'm saying we shouldn't just go and do that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not a talent, but I've seen enough.
Yeah, I hear that. Guys, smash the like on the video. Someone said earlier, shout out the super chat from Dio. Says, hey guys, not being rude, but can the person with a cold please mute before clearing your airways? It's affecting the experience. They got their headphones in, you know what I mean, loud, and they could just hear the tonsils and the, you know what I mean, the esophagus. They're breathing and that. So I don't know even who that is, but yeah, Zoom etiquette and all of that. I want to talk about a little bit of positivity, people. I want to see what you lot are saying. Yeah, me and KG had an argument today.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that at the end of today's show. It was madness. It was a very grouchy Kevin the comic at the end of it. I mean, my goodness.
I couldn't believe it, but I'm not trying to sway you lot's opinion on this or whatever. I just want to see what you lot are saying in it. I'm just saying, me personally, it's all about opinions. This is what I'm on. Until I'm not on it anymore, this is what I'm on. Yeah? I'm usually, listen, I know these men are criminals. I know that him, and him are going to be shit. They're going to run around on us. That rare. That's what I'm normally on. But I got to that Europa League game against Sociedad, and I was like, nah, I've seen enough. I've seen enough like that. They ain't beating us from the first leg. I was like, they're not beating us over my dead body. Bruno ain't gonna let it run. He gets a hat trick. Rare. Then I'm like, Leicester, we're gonna mash them up. Furthermore, Højlund's gonna break his duck. He's scoring, and it happened. So I'm just saying, out of this break, I've said it for a while. I said I don't think we're gonna lose to Forest. I think we'll get a draw. I don't think we're gonna lose. And he was like, do you think Dalot's going to do madness again? I said, you know what? I don't think he's going to do a madness in that game. I think he's going to do all right. And this guy's trying to tell me that I can't be positive now and this, that, and the other. I'm like, we've got a few players back. The team looks like it's doing okay. We've got a tough 3 games coming plus the Lyon game. But I just think game by game, you know what I mean? And I said, I think we'll beat City as well. This guy's telling me don't be positive and this, that, and the other, and telling me don't be like that. Marcel, I mean, for you, this run-in now, what are you saying? Are we allowed to feel positive about this thing? How do you feel? Mason Mount's back in training for whatever that means. Yoro, I think, is going to be back. Maguire's going to be back. Sure, we just parked that. Ahmad's posting up, on his way back. Aiden Heaven, all the signs are saying it's not as bad as we first thought, which is a positive. I'm just saying, I've been shit all year. It's been miserable all year. Towards the end, it's my choice. I just want to be a little bit happier.
Yeah, no, and you have the right to be. There's, you're a Manchester United fan and you've followed the club for a long time, Flex. So you have the right to be, as happy as you want to be in this stage, and supporting the club. And there's been a couple of weeks off to take some woosah and a little bit of a break because it's been intense this season. It's been a difficult season this year. Very, very difficult to support this football club. And if that's how you feel coming up to, these next 5 games, which by the way, I'm going to say they are very difficult though, Fleck.
Absolutely.
So in terms,
and I didn't say we're going to win all of them. I didn't say we're going to win all of them.
You're sticking your neck out. I think it's wrong for Kevin Gary to condemn you on how you support the football club, though. I think that's extremely wrong. But I can understand why he would say that, especially how we've been playing throughout the season. Maybe you need to elaborate as to why you feel as confident as you do, though, because I do, my nature is to be positive about this football club, but I've always given the avenue in which you collect these points. For example, the Arsenal game, everyone was saying we're dead and buried, but I believed. But there's always an avenue.
He was practically a soothsayer, visionary, clairvoyant going into that Arsenal game. He said exactly how it was going to happen. I think it's because of the scarf wrapped around his head. That's what it was. He was looking into the future like something with a crystal ball, like that. That was Marcel. But Marcel, I suppose the big question at hand when it comes to KG, because I did catch this at the end of the show. Would you describe KG as a measured person? In terms of his football fandom, would you say he's measured?
Never. There's not a single bone in his body that is measured. It's there's no measuring about him. That's
why we love him.
He goes hell, but he goes all out. That's why his hair's gone. Like Pep Guardiola, someone that's going all out. They're obsessed. That's why they lose their hair over it. So there's nothing measured about that man.
What, he lost his hair because of his obsession with Man United?
Yeah. Just like Pep lost his hair because of his obsession with football and formations.
But you see, Will saying this, no, Flex. What Kevin Gary said is that he does not want you to take this position because when shit happens, because we know our team, you're going to take it out on him. Well, he weren't really saying that. I wasn't saying.
So you're a bully then. That, you're a bully, is what he's saying.
Apparently so. I'm not saying that when I see the bullshit that they might do, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is what I'm on right now. Allow me to do my own thing. The same way how every single game he goes through a range of emotions and says, listen, I know it was shit. I need you to believe just because. That's just what I want to do for this game coming up.
But are you also adding into the fact that, new players are coming back and they're good players and they're going to help the system? Ahmad's on his way. Mount, I really think will fit the system. There's 2 10 positions for him. There's other players in there that could come back and really add something to the side. Or
I'm just going off a feeling and a vibe. That's it. Yeah, a few players coming back. Like, I seen that they're doing all right. I did say these 3 games are going to show us. So I'm not saying, listen, it's game season. These 3 games we're winning. We've turned the corner. We ain't turned no corner. All I said was, I don't think we're going to lose against Forest. And he's saying, don't do that. Don't do that.
Here's the thought. I dare say, maybe in the league, this is our best time to play our best football. We're not going to get relegated. We're not going to qualify for anything. There's that In the Premier League, I think we may see our best football because there is no pressure on the players like that, and the coach has the ability in that freedom to go express yourself because we are not expecting anything out of it. So I think on that basis, we may just see the best football. There's no timidness, and there's a little bit more of the shackles off, and we may see that. So I'm with you on
positive?
that.
Are you with me? Yeah, that just like. Because I'm not even looking too far forward. I'm literally just saying the Forest game. I just think out of this international break, in that Forest game, I think away from home, we stack up with the 5. Forest, they play in transition. They let us have the ball. I just think I can't see them mashing us up. I don't think they're gonna.
We will win the first game. We will win the first game.
All right.
I'm saying it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we will win the first game.
I mean, they've only lost. I think they've only lost 3. I don't know. I'm not on that Forest. I don't think we're gonna. You think we're gonna lose?
I'm not on that we get a result against Forest. I'm with you in the sense that things are more positive than they were. I think like it's been a lot for us this season. I think we'll just be indifferent between now and the end of the season. There'll be a couple of games where we're like, I didn't expect us to win that one, and we did. We'll get something out of it. Like when we played Arsenal at home, we're gonna get smashed, draw it 1-1.
That's what I mean.
But the Forest one, I think overall, I'm feeling a bit more positive because I think we are playing better stuff. I'm more optimistic. I'm more optimistic that we could actually maybe win the Europa League than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. You know, to be fair, KG was like, we're going to win the Europa League. We can win the Europa League, and I was like, there's absolutely no way. And I take that back a bit. I think I was wrong on that one, but. Forest away, they just beat City at home, didn't they? In one of their last home games, they're good at home. They lost twice. You know, I'm not sure about that one, but I do think there'll be some games in that run, and I reckon we'll beat City at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good for us. You know, because like you said before with Ruben, those top 6 matches, he hasn't had many that have been home games. In those top 6 matches, they've largely been away from home. So that Arsenal performance, we deserve to win that game. We should have won that game. If we play like we did against Arsenal, against City, and they're easy to play against now, City, aren't they? Everyone knows what you have to do. I mean, somewhere Ole Gunnar Solskjaer smiling, going, sit back and hit him on the counter-attack. Is that what you got to do? Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? But we'll probably do that against City. And if we do that, like everyone else, you'll have a good shot at beating them. So I just think we'll be indifferent. But like Tamo said, we're not going to get relegated. We're not going to qualify.
It doesn't really matter what happens against Forest. It's not even a crash out. Like it's not.
No, exactly.
It's not that. Like actually, I'll be honest. Like as long as we don't humiliate ourselves and look at like it's all about the Europa League. If we lose against Forest, maybe that's the real reason why I'm like I think we'll draw. Because deep down, I'm like it doesn't really like the league's just kind of experimental. Try and get some form. Just do what we can. We're 14th, mate. Like I ain't going into like if we lose against Forest, I swear. Because I swear that some of the games where I have gone mad, people have said that to me. Flex, this league's over. Why are you going mad? You know what we are. You know what this is. Why are you getting angry?
You just want the league, if anything, just to build up a bit of momentum for the Europa League. Yeah, to be like, okay, the games before we play those Europa League games be good if we won. So we got
that's why I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to do all right. I think we'll just give it. Even if we lost 2-1 or 1-0, I just think it'd be a low scoring game, and I just think we'll be all right. Brad, are you getting a bit confident for the back end of the season? Can you see anything, or is it too early to start? You know, thinking a little bit positively because, you know, a few players back, international breaks over. You know, there's some big games to get our teeth into where if we do win, if we do come out like unscathed in these next 3 games, especially Newcastle away, that's peak. But if we do come out of these games like intact with some wins that we might have thought, it could be a proper confidence boost, man.
100%. I agree with the point of that. There's not going to be any pressure because the league is done. But I'm 50-50 because I've been fooled before. But I actually agree. I think we might get a result at Forest and a result against City, but I think we'll lose that Newcastle game because it's in between the 2 Lyon games. I think we'll rest players at St James's Park, so I think we could get a draw and a win against City and Forest. But let's see. Hopefully, we can do that.
Yeah, I hear that. Like Amir says that this is a real test now. Yeah, look, obviously going into this, Sociedad twice, Arsenal's a test. To be fair, did well. Then Leicester supposed to dust them down. City, Forest away, City home, Newcastle away. That's a tough 3 games. We've always looked at these 3 going, yeah. That's when it gets to that. Hopefully we get some wins because you know that's why we were like Ipswich. Leicester, and then we've earmarked Wolves, I think. As like Marcel, didn't you say that's the only games we're going to win? You said something. There's only a couple more wins coming, isn't it? There's not.
Yeah, there'll be like 3 or so more wins or something for the rest of the season, something like that, Fleck. But for me, it's counter-attack football to get us through the rest of the season because, you know, the lack of players. I do feel positive, like you're saying, new players coming back, and in terms of having a positive feeling, I always have that. But I really think my main thing is playing the youth now. I really want to see these youth players get minutes now, you know, and prepare them for next season. I just think that's imperative, that mindset. You know, we're going to add players in the summer, but can we get a few of the youth players getting some minutes under their belt so that we can draw and call upon them next season? And 1 or 2 of them will become first team regulars if you prepare them right this season.
I was just looking at the 13th. But we don't really know, when he's...
I might as well be ready.
Right?
When is it? Where's the Europa League final playing, gents?
Bilbao.
Bilbao.
And if we get through to the semi-finals, I think it's Bilbao against Rangers, isn't it? You'd think Bilbao would win that, but you know,
Rangers in Europa, they've got a bit of pedigree. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
you know what's
Barry
funny,
Ferguson resurgent.
Would we say, right? Let's say we lost all 3 of those games we mentioned in the Premier League, but we go through comfortably in Europa. We all taking that?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is how like if we was to get the results that we're talking about in the Premier League, that means we've really taken a turn for the positive.
Yeah.
You can't go on and get a result against Forest, City, and then sandwich with Lyon, and then coming out in Newcastle, and then saying that we really have taken a turn for the better. And I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like if we're getting a result against Forest, something's going to happen with City. Or vice versa.
Straight off.
This is the first time in a while that we've gone unbeaten. Was it 4 games now? We haven't lost, which is like amazing.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it happening where we're not going to drop points. And then, I just do feel like, and not to be honest, Nottingham Forest have been really consistent this season. Like they are the real deal. They are looking like a team that's going to be playing European football next season. They are a team that's taken points off the likes of your Chelseas, the likes of your Cities, the likes of your Arsenals, the likes of your Liverpools, the likes of your Tottenhams. So they're not a joke. And for us to get anything from them, we're gonna have to approach the game and view them as a team that is a top 4 team, not even a top 16. We need to look at them as if we're playing your Liverpool, your Arsenals, or your Cities. If we do anything less than that, then we're not getting nothing from this game. I'm gonna get obliterated.
I think that means counter-attacking football, which when we play with that setting on, we can win any game. Honestly, our issue is taking the next step and playing and saying the defensive line is staying from the halfway line and we're not moving and we're trapping the opponent in their half of the pitch. That's our issue. That's like a cultural issue. That's like that since Ole, even before Ole, but Ole was saying that was taking the next step was the thing that he struggled with. But setting us up in a counter-attacking fashion and doing 80-meter sprints or, you know, quick transitional passes into, you know, from our third into the next third, that's in our DNA and we have the right type of players for that. So if we play the next few games counter-attacking and then in the Europa League games, you try and be more expansive, we can get good results out of the next few games, honestly.
I was just being, it might be a bit pedantic, but I was just looking at the results. I it got to be a bit of a technicality in this, because we did technically lose against Fulham, but not in 90 minutes, Well, unbeaten in 7 games. We ain't tasted like a straight defeat like in 90, like in 7 games. Going back to Everton 2-2 was the start of that little mini run, but Spurs 1-0 in February when that shit Onana parried it to Maddison. We haven't lost in straight 90. I know the FA Cup's a technicality, say we lost, but let's just not do it for the sake of being positive, Like 7 games. That's 7 games. So really, like, I know this. Listen, we're still 13th and 14th, so it's not we're back. But that's what I'm just saying. It's like there is a little bit of they're not losing.
It's finally balanced, though.
Embarrassed.
It's finally balanced because you feel like, let's say, coming out of the international break, let's say we go to Forest and they do comfortably beat us like 2 or 3-0, then it would be like, you know what I mean?
But in the context of the season, you go and play third away from home. It's like, well, you might get licks. But
my biggest thing is, if you'd have said that, you know, a few weeks ago, after some of those performances, like against Everton, I'd be like, I don't know though. You know what I mean? The football's saying a bit different. Legitimately, in the last couple of games, they've been some of our best performances. And it's not just because it was against like Leicester, who were going to go down. Like against Arsenal, again, we should have won that game. In the Europa League, over 2 legs, we deserved to beat Real Sociedad. We said that away from home, didn't we? Actually, we're unlucky to be 1-1. I know towards the end of the game, they kind of came on strong. But on Old Trafford, we dominated them. And it wasn't because they went down to 10 men. We dominated them, and then they went down to 10 men because we were creating chances. So that's where my optimism comes from. Not necessarily just with those results, because we've been fooled by results before, but actually the performances have been better. Like the last few performances were the best attacking performances that we've probably seen under Amorim at all. So that is legitimately something to hang on to when you're going into like the business end of the season.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Peeps, big show. Big up to everyone who's been locked in, man. Big up to everyone getting involved in the chat. Big up to everyone who's sent in a super chat as well. I have to say, remember, the UV store is live, and it's live. It's up and running right now. The link is in the chat. Owen's got the t-shirt. Oh, it's got the little shoulder. Yeah, it's got the shoulder bit on there as well. Other arm. There you go. Wait a minute. There you go. Extra brand. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Champions League branding.
Got the branded Champions League branding. Get your badges. Yeah, that's it. Different competitions. Hoodies there. Thick, strong, nice.
Comfy fit. Yeah.
Comfy fit. Check out the website. There's plenty more there. There's plenty more there as well. There's hats. There's beanies. There's bomber jackets, there's tracksuit tops, zip-up tops, everything is there. So you guys have been asking for it for a long time. Owen Style Advisor says UV store. It's there. Link is in the video description below, and we'll obviously put keep it in all the shows recently to keep reminding you. Tomorrow morning I'm doing a live Flex's View as well. Joe Fleming was like, listen, you haven't sat down and just spoke about after the awards thing, and just in general, we need a Flex's View. So I'm going to do it live tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Yes, no morning view. It's going to be a live Flex's View. So come join me, man. Almost like a little bit of a just me and you Q&A as well. Obviously, there'll be some Man United news in there as well, but we'll talk about everything. Nothing's off limits, man. So get in the chat tomorrow morning. Come join me. Solo settings, 9 a.m. Be there. Live Flex's View, the award-winning Flex's View. There you go. Yeah, you can call it that. There you go. Joe Blackburn says we will be there as well. I want to see as many of you there as possible. Shout out Tabo, shout out Marcel, shout out Firm, shout out Brads, and of course Owen as well. Big up to each and every single one of you in the chat, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Get your UV merch out now. We're out of here, guys. Take care. Peace. There it is. Run it up. You've been asking for it for ages.